There is a new kid on the block, Kobbie Mainoo. Kobbie is a British-born Ghanaian. He's of Ghanaian descent. Played for Manchester United against Everton over the weekend. Made a very impressive debut. And the calls have been, especially from Ghanaians, that they would want Kobbie Mainoo to play for the Black Stars. Of course, I understand that there have been some unofficial calls on Kobbie Mainoo's family even before the start of the season. Remember, Kobbie was with the Manchester United team that went for the preseason before that unfortunate injury. So, of course, Ghanaians are quite aware. Talking about Ghanaian authorities are quite aware of Kobbie's talents. He's such an incredible midfielder, can play across every, place in the midfield. Every area of midfield, covers a lot of grass, very young and talented, has been likened to some Manchester United greats. And he's come up for praise after the game against Everton, especially from likes of Bruno Fernandes and his own manager, Eric Ten Hag. But the fact remains, will he play for England or Ghana? Kobbie Mainoo has already played for English under 16 and then the under 17 team. He's been prepared to play for the under 21 team. The report, especially by the Daily Star, has indicated that coach Gareth Southgate is ready to facilitate Kobbie Mainoo's play, facilitate for him to play in the English under 21 team so that he can transition very well into the Three Lions team. So the English authorities are trying their best to get Kobbie Mainoo to make a decision to choose England. They wouldn't have to struggle because he's played for the under 16 team and the under 17 team already. But then with the issue of Ghana, how does he choose to play for Ghana? Kobbie's dad is a Ghanaian, Felix Mainoo. His mom, Abina Herod, is also a Ghanaian. So he would have to make that decision. At 18 years, it will be very tough. So the question is, will Kobbie Mainoo choose to represent the country of his birth, England, or choose the country of his parents, Ghana? Now, let's go into this. My honest and genuine take on this matter. Everybody will be excited, interested, and happy to see Kobbie Mainoo play for Ghana. His talent is undoubted. He's already won the Jimmy Murphy Young Player of the Year award for Manchester United. So you already know that there is no question about his talents and skill. But it remains that how do you convince such a player at such age to choose Ghana over England? I think we need to go by the approach of Morocco. There are so many Ghanaian players who have played for other countries in recent times, especially at the recent World Cup in Qatar. There was Yunus Musa, who played for the United States national team. He's a Ghanaian of Ghanaian descent. There was Nico Williams, who played for the Spanish national team. His brother, of course, Inaki, plays for Ghana. There is Ethan Ampedu, who plays for the Wales national team or the Welsh national team. There is Jeremy Doku, the Manchester City player who now features for Belgium. And there is Richie Lai. Richie Lai also played for the Canadian national team. He's also a Ghanaian of Ghanaian descent. There is Jeremy Frimpong, who was called up by the Dutch national team, plays for the Netherlands. Memphis Depay is already known. Like I mentioned, how do you get these players to play for Ghana? It will be very difficult when they are young, especially when they featured for the youth side of these European national teams. This is where they know. This is where they've been fully integrated. This is where they understand the language, the culture, and the tradition. Even though they will have some affinity and bond with Ghana by virtue of the fact that their parents are from here. A few of them who were born, in Ghana before they migrated. But getting them to play for Ghana will be very difficult. When they are young and have the opportunity of representing, say, England, it will be very difficult for them to choose Ghana over England. And it should be understandable for players of their age having to change environment all of a sudden. There are outliers. There are circumstances or special exceptions to this rule. The rule is that they are always going to follow the path where they've started. If you check through the trajectory of players choosing to play for their Euro national team ahead of the African national teams, it is always a 90-10 situation or 95-5 situation. Why do I say so? Take, for instance, Danny Welbeck played for the English youth side before he got to the Three Lions. He was heavily chased by Ghana, but then the English were going to grant him an opportunity to play for the national team. It wasn't difficult to make a decision. Take Jerome Boateng, for instance, played for the German national team, had already featured for the youth sides together with a crop of players that he joined in the national team proper. It wasn't difficult making such a decision. There are so many of them. Jeremy Doku, so many of these players that you can mention. Why do they make a decision like this? Why do they choose to follow the path? Because it is the easiest one. The few who choose to play for their African national teams are those who have waited for opportunities from where they were born. Mostly or generally, these are players who may have stayed for some time to try and see if they will get the opportunity in the national teams of where they were born, because that is, of course, the easiest option to make, and nobody wants to go through stress. Not to say the Ghana national team or say the Egyptian or Cameroonian national team is not good for them, but as a normal human being, you'll want to follow a particular course so that you don't become a cat or a fish out of the sea in a new environment. So you want to follow that path. Same will be said about Kobbie Mainoo. Played for the under 16, under 17. Perhaps hasn't even stayed in Ghana for beyond a week or two. It will be difficult, even though he may love the country. He may have seen players from here. He may have known us as a football country. How is he going to make a choice then? His parents will be heavily influenced. They are based in England. How do they make such a choice? Take the situation of Edin Ketia, for instance. Edin Ketia's dad was a Prempeh College former student, has been frequenting Ghana for some time. It would have been easier to choose Ghana, but he's played and the top scorer of their youth side, the under 21 side. He's been heralded. He's been seen as the next Thierry Henry at Arsenal. The English would want him to feature for the national team in the event that there is no hurricane. He's heavily tipped to be one of the top strikers that English national team will be looking out for in the near future. When he looks at this opportunity, it will be very difficult for him to choose Ghana. Not to say he will not love Ghana as a country, but of course, this is where you want him to be. The same thing is said about Kalum Hassan-Odoi. He will only make a decision when the English national team makes it clear, or it becomes evidently clear that the English national team will not allow him, or he will not have an opportunity to play in the English national team. It is as crystal clear. Players no omo ankasa omo nim baby a yawo omo nim said this is where I was born. This is where I've been bred. This is where I've been raised. My friends are here. I've started my career here. So the type of football and the type of environment, which is very important and paramount, person be free environment and say so Kobbie Mainoo will come on the same case study of Edin Ketia. It will be very easy to make a decision and just say on Ghana. Some of them will have to wait till they are 28 or 27 when it becomes evidently clear that they will not have an opportunity. And even when they are 25 or 26, they will still want to see their form at that point. And the current crop of players in the national team, if it is possible that they can depose some of them and get a playing time in the team. It's not easy. Inaki Williams was pursued by Ghana. He was pursued for a long time. We pursued him for almost 7-8 years. He decided to play for the Spanish national team, made his debut in a friendly game, but then after some years, realized that he wasn't going to get an opportunity. The option then, or the alternative of choosing Ghana, wasn't as difficult as when he was young. That's my point. It wouldn't be difficult when you are 29 or 30 because you know it is practically impossible to get your time playing at the World Cup, especially in the French national team or Spanish national team when you are 29 and you've not featured for the team before. There are only few exceptions. Same can be said about Kevin Prince Boateng. Chose Ghana when the German national team had made it clear that because of disciplinary issues, they will not select him. They selected his brother. And these are, very public knowledge, things of public knowledge. Everybody knows about the situation of Kevin Prince Boateng and the English national team. So when it became clear that they will not select him, he had to choose Ghana. There was no difficulty in doing that. You are growing, you will not have the opportunity to play, but you have the alternative that is also looking forward to you. So this is where it becomes easier for Ghana. But when they are young like this, and they are on top form, they see a bigger opportunity, a bigger picture of playing for the English national team or Belgian national team with all the opportunities that it comes with. I don't think we should worry too much. It is good to make an attempt on Kobbie Mainoo, but we should not worry too much. Option 2, what we need to do now, because we have a lot of players in Europe, and if the option 1 or the plan A of strengthening our local league and getting talent from here has become difficult because of financial difficulties and economic condition, we cannot establish academies here and build our league and get players from the league. The option 2, which I think is very feasible and practicable, is that we follow the Moroccan approach. This was even suggested long time ago. What needs to be done is that because of the amount of Ghanaian talent in Europe, we just need to get 3 offices in Europe, say 1 in Belgium. We just have to target the demographics. We do a research and see where a lot of Ghanaian immigrants are based and where they mostly produce footballers. So you are going to say England, for instance, Germany or Belgium, Netherlands is a category A place. So you have 1 office of the GFA in Netherlands. It cannot even simply be a GFA office. The GFA, in collaboration with the foreign mission, that's the Ghanaian embassy or Ghanaian High Commission in England, can have a small sports office and set up, say, this is the Ghana Football Association in collaboration with the Ghanaian embassy in London. We have an office. You employ some of these former footballers who are based there. You employ them on a contract basis. They go around the academies in England. I went around and I saw a lot of Ghanaians at Brighton and Hove Albion, Crystal Palace, lot of Ghanaian players there. Not all of them will get the chance of playing for England. Not many of them will we even see, because for the English national team, if they don't feature you at the under 16 and 17, it's practically difficult for you to feature at the senior level. We don't have that approach. Once a player is talented, you can just pick him from today without him featuring for any of the youth side and put him in the national team. So when we employ some of these ex-players, say the ones who are based in Netherlands, ones who are based in England, ones who are based in Germany or Belgium, we employ them because they have their job already in some part-time basis on contract. Every weekend or every other weekend, you go to the training grounds of some of these teams. If there is a Ghanaian youngster or a Ghanaian teenager at, say, Crystal Palace, who is 14 years, and he is supremely talented and has not been selected by the English national team yet for the under-17 team, you bring him here to play for the Ghana under-17 in 1 or 2 games. When they have free time, you can bring him here to join the Ghana under-17 team, play 1 or 2 games as a process of integration. If there is a player in Netherlands who plays for the Ajax Academy or the Rotterdam Academy, what you need to do is that there is this ex-player in Ghana who has been employed on a contract basis to go around and see if there are Ghanaian talent who have not been picked up by Netherlands yet, or who have been picked up by Netherlands but have not featured for them in the national team. You start them from the under-17. We are not even qualifying for the under-17 World Cup in recent times. So you start them from there because it's become difficult to build our league and select players from here. If you want to get some of these European-born players, We start from the youth side. So Kobbie Mainoo, for instance, if at the age of 14, he had been identified by a Ghanaian scout and brought to Ghana once or twice with the consent of his parents, or he's come to Ghana for holidays and you bring him to the under 17 side to play a friendly game, you start the process of integration. So the Moroccan approach is that they have an academy in Morocco. Now they are going to have another academy in Spain and one in Portugal with the same features and characteristics of the one in Morocco. So the players who are born in Spain of Moroccan descent will have 2 weekends or 3 weekends of training there. Those who have not been selected by Spain, even if you have been selected by Spain and you feel the need to play for Morocco, you don't need to go through the hassle and bustle of flying down to Marrakesh or Rabat. You just drive straight. If you are in Spain, you drive straight to the Academy of Morocco in Spain, where they teach you the basics of how the Moroccan national team want to play. You feature for the under 17 team, under 20 team before you make the transition. So if we want to catch some of the players like Kobbie Mainoo, we need to start Jeremy Doku and co. from under 14. So if we have diaspora office of the Ghana Football Association, because it's become clear that we cannot groom players here. We don't have the money. Even if we groom them, we still have to get the ones who are born in Europe, the ones who have gone through the rudiments of being trained by proper coaches in there. If you want them, England can get 7 Ghanaians, we get 4. If they pick 4 Ghanaians, we have 3. Otherwise, we will lose all of them, because by the time they reach 18 and play for Manchester United or Everton, they've already made their minds. They played for English under 17 or under 20. So this suggestion, the Moroccans will have money to establish an academy. We may not. We just have to establish a diaspora office and hire some of these, our former players, to go around. At least if they pick 10, 2 will decide to play for us. We need to start them from the youth side, under 17, under 18. Once they start playing and start understanding the Ghanaian concept of football, the Ghanaian type of football, the Ghanaian culture of football, they come here, they eat jollof. When they are under 17, of course, they fraternize. They come to understand the place. They feel loved. When they go back, they will start making a decision gradually, even if they are approached. But when they haven't had that bond and connection, it will be difficult for them to make a decision. Kobbie Mainoo is supremely talented. We all want to have him. I hope that he's an outlier. Like Tariq Lamptey, at 23, made a decision to play for Ghana. There was a decision to be made. The decision was that he went through and saw that the English national team had a load of talents at right back. Trent Alexander-Arnold and co. It was like 5 or 6 top right backs. He was 4th or 5th ranked. How was he going to play in the World Cup except to choose the alternative, that is Ghana? How was Inaki going to play in the World Cup except to choose the alternative? So if we are not going to get them when they mature at 18 or 19, let's start with the approach, not establish an academy in Europe. We don't have the money, but at least a diaspora office where we can interact with the players when they are young, make them feel loved, make them understand how it feels to play for Ghana before they reach the age where it becomes practically impossible and difficult to convince them. So that's my point. Thank you very much.